Ms. Liz Murrill is Solicitor General for the state of Louisiana.
You have a court hearing today in Lafayette over President Biden's social cost of carbon directive. Explain that lawsuit. What is going on? It will impact directly our energy industry in Louisiana, correct?
Absolutely. Huge impact. So this is something that environmental economists sometimes call the most important number that nobody's ever heard of. And that's because it's kind of a sleeper killer for energy projects. So I'll give you an example. There's a project in Arizona that was just recently terminated, and they were trying to add a compressor at an LNG facility. Would have been about $150 million project. And when they applied the social cost of carbon numbers, which is a way to monetize greenhouse gas emissions like carbon or methane, the project morphed into a $200 billion project. Nobody can do that. I mean, it's just a way to kill the fossil fuel industry.
So basically what the federal government is doing and hopes to continue to do is make the business of doing business in the energy industry so expensive that nobody will want to expand, nobody will want to explore, nobody will want to drill, no one will want to do anything. Is that pretty fair?
That's exactly right. This whole thing originates from an executive order that was signed a week after the president took office, where he directed this internal working group, which is basically a group of people that are the heads of all the federal agencies, to issue these numbers that would monetize the cost of carbon or methane or nitrous oxide. And then he directed that these numbers be applied across all government decision-making and rulemaking. So we've been seeing that happening. If the judge would enjoin the executive order and the guidance or the report, the internal working group's report, and prevent those numbers from being applied, it would stop this from happening, and that's what we're asking him to do.
So obviously that Biden policy is currently in place, and already I would assume it is hurting Louisiana's specifically natural gas business. Would a judge's ruling today in your favor, is that sort of the end of the line? I would assume not. And how many more court cases do you anticipate there being before there would be a final decision?
You know, what happens is this is a preliminary injunction hearing, which means that if he issues the injunction, the government will likely appeal to the Fifth Circuit, and they may ask for the Fifth Circuit to issue a stay, which is basically a stop order on the district court judge's order. So I would expect they will try to do that if we get the injunction. We're just going to be continuing in litigation, but hopefully if the judge issues the injunction, it will give some relief to and a little more predictability. I mean, that's the bigger problem here, partly over the next few years, is that the energy industry has no predictability. There's so much instability, the financing of any project.
If I am in the energy industry right now and the government is making it too pricey for me to explore, to drill, produce, whatever it happens to be, and you get a temporary injunction or whatever, well, I'm still not going to invest the money because I don't know how it's going to end up in a year or two or more.
That's absolutely right. And we saw that happen with Keystone. The president he withdrew the Keystone pipeline permit, which we did not think was permissible, and we joined a lawsuit with Montana over that. But at the end of the day, the people who were building the pipeline just decided not to do it. That's what's going to happen. People are going to make a decision to invest elsewhere.
So basically, the Biden administration wins at least, they win even if they lose.
I think that's their objective, and we just have to keep fighting. I mean, there's other ways that they're acting as well. All of these rules that they're issuing on methane and trying to withdraw some of the Trump administration reforms that were, frankly, very good reforms. Their attitude is that if it occurred during the Trump administration, then it is bad. They're just flat out trying to withdraw every single one of them and replace them with something that is radically, radically bad for the energy industry.